Hello everyone! Today we continue working with the leopard dress. First I just wanted to show you the designing, but then I've realized that I'd better show you the whole process. Either way, you'd be asking a lot of questions. I've already showed you how to cut the lining, and today I'll show you how to connect the details. Have a look at the table. The dress is almost ready. The side seams and the tucks are already stitched. This is the lining and the welt. They look absolutely the same. I've already showed you how to design and cut these details, and now I'll show you how to attach them to each other. First of all, I need to stitch the shoulder and press it open. I'll ask one of our tailors to do it. We are stitching the shoulder seam of the lining. The width of the seam is 1 cm. We'll stitch the side seam of the dress itself the same way. When we finish stitching, we'll press the both seams open. After that, I'll show you how to attach the lining to an item. Have a look here. The most important thing is that the side seam is straight and the fabric is not stretched or gathered. It's okay if the edge of the adhesive material is a bit lower. The seam will be pressed open, so the edges will be hidden. Now we're pressing the both shoulder seams open. This is the lining, and this is the dress itself. Now I'll show you how to attach a lining to an item. I want you to have a look at the welt. I didn't have enough fabric for it, so it consists of the small pieces sewn together. The lining was made of silk. If you can't afford buying silk, you can make it of viscose. It should be very thin and light. In this case, I would recommend making an item itself and lining of the same fabric. Sometimes it's necessary, like in the black dress cotton bias. I've decided that I'd better attach a lining to a dress face to face. This is the right side of the lining. Now I turn the right side of the dress inside. Match the side seams. I check the tucks in order to see if I do everything right. I pin the side seams. Now I'll match the second side seam. I'll show you everything. This is the neckline. I match and pin the shoulder seam. The shoulder seam is ready, the side seam is ready. Now I need to pin the neckline. What I need to do now is to put the neckline on a table and make sure that the fabric on the neckline isn't stretched or gathered. The neckline turns into a bow, so I continue pinning it. Be very attentive. Do not stretch the fabric. I pin it very thoroughly because I don't want to take it before stitching. You'd better take it if you don't have much of an experience. Pin the back neckline the same way. Be very careful and attentive. If you pin the details carefully, you won't have any problems later. The more carefully you do it, the easier it will be for you to stitch. I've pinned everything but this armhole. I'll get back to it later. The back neckline is ready. The bow is ready. The second part of the bow is also ready, as well as the front neckline. Now we'll start stitching roundwise. I'll start stitching from this seam and finish in the same point. The seam will be 5 or 7 millimeters wide. 7 millimeters is the maximum width for such seams. Be very careful. Don't make stitches which are more than 3 millimeters long. Just imagine how long it takes to stitch everything. We'll do the most part of stitching off the camera. We'll just show you the result. It's better to iron the seams before turning them out. I think I've forgotten to say that the welt and the bow were doubled with an adhesive material. This is how the dress looks like now. This is the wrong side. I'll cut the angles off the bow. Now I'll turn the dress out. Use a needle to turn all the angles out. This is how the dress looks like now. This is the wrong side. Now I can start edging the dress. I'll take the most part off the camera. Learn to make small stitches. 7 or 8 millimeters wide. Make them a bit bias. I'm edging the seams now for them to keep the correct shape during the ironing. Do it the way I'm showing you now. You need to tack the whole seam this way. Everything I've just stitched. I'll do the rest of the taking off the camera. When I finish taking, I'll iron the seams. Then we'll process and overcast the bottom. The only thing will be left to do is to process the armhole. I wanted to know how to do it. Thank you for your comments. It's a pleasure to read them. Be different and beautiful. My name is Irina. Subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.